Hello again. I just want to say a few more words about security, just to follow on from a broadcast I just made, but I had some other thoughts there. The primary security in the airplane really has to go with the passengers. The flight crew, the flight attendants can just do but so much. Recently, there have been cases where people have acted erratically, and it's taken the coordinated efforts of flight crew, cabin crew mainly, and passengers to secure an individual or individuals who are acting erratically. Ideally, none of these people should be on the airplane. And what you'll find oftentimes is there's a screening, an unofficial screening that goes on with the gate agents and other people observing to see who's likely to cause trouble on a flight. That's the last thing you need. But you can't really depend on a few flight attendants who may be relatively smaller than the assailants that may go crazy. So there's strength in numbers. If you're with a group of people or if you're physically able, help them out. Don't let them taking on one unhinged person by themselves. That's not right. They're not always air marshals or security personnel riding. You can't count on that. There aren't that many of them. And typically they're assigned to high-risk missions. And sometimes they need help too. There's a very famous case. It's a little bit strange, but it's true. It involves someone named D.B. Cooper. This is someone who boarded a plane in Portland, Oregon. And he presented a note to one of the flight attendants saying that he had a bomb in his briefcase and he was demanding $200,000. The plane landed in Seattle. Apparently he was given the money and the airplane was allowed to leave. I think it was headed to Mexico. He was supposed to fly no more than 10,000 feet at a low altitude. And what actually happened was that sometime during the flight between Seattle and Reno, Nevada, this person known as D.B. Cooper actually parachuted out of the jet, parachuted out of the airplane, flying a 727. 727 was an unusual airplane because it had aft air stairs, stairs that would lower, and people would board and deplane using those aft stairs, not just the normal upper exits. In any case, he lowered the stairs in flight, parachuted out, and what happened afterwards is a matter of myth and folklore. Some people say he was killed. Some people say they recovered the money. Some say he's still alive. Who knows? There are more rumors about him than the Loch Ness Monster. But because of that, that was an area of security no one ever thought of. There was something installed called the Cooper vane, and it was no longer possible to lower those air stairs in flight. They stopped doing that. That airplane isn't flying anymore. 727s have been retired. But there are always vulnerabilities that someone will exploit and try to take advantage of what's going on. As far as pilots going, pilots can alert ground stations that they do have a problem on board by electronic means, sometimes speaking in certain codes, flying in certain patterns, doing certain things, and request assistance without saying anything verbally. So that is possible, but the ideal thing that a flight crew wants, they don't want anyone to get in that cockpit. So the doors are hardened. In years past, they were not hardened. You could probably kick one open very easily. Now it takes a tank to get through one. But in any case, I just want to let you know that everyone has to look out for everyone else. Everyone else can be everyone else's security. So help the flight crew out if you need to. Chances of that happening are few and far between. But over the last 50, 60 years, there have been incidents when intervention was necessary. Flying is safe, but for those of you who may be just a little bit apprehensive, I've made a free guide for you, a freebie. It's called the Nervous Flyer's Survival Guide. Just check in the description below, and it's available to you for free.